Yeah, Ethan! It's a penalty. He jumps like 9 yards offside.
Welcome to the third week of UFL football. Today, I'll break down the real winners and losers from the 4 games over the weekend. Or as I call it, the real Masters Tournament. Now, through 3 weeks, I've noticed one big thing with the UFL. The quality of play across the league is up. I think the merging of the 2 spring leagues has led to better rosters across the board, better coaching, and overall just better play. I think 2 8-team leagues was too much, as talent was spread just a bit too thin. Now, if game attendance can pick up the slack, Detroit, there's room for, say, possibly 2 more teams, but right now, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. And you should be watching this shit. That said, let's focus on the worst of the league with the Blop 5. 5 plays so powerful that you can now write them off on your tax returns. Let me know in the comments if you paid your taxes on time. All violators will be punished to the maximum level. America, fuck yeah! Blop 5, the second play of the game. The Renegades did not have it made when they attempted and failed to fool the defender's defense on this end around. Fool me once, shame on you. Don't fool me at all. You're the fool, ain't ya? George W. Bush.
Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Blop 4. While the Stallions ended the game with a big win, they also started the game with the bloppiest touchdown you can imagine. Adrian Martinez fires a pass so hard that after it's tipped at the line, it blops right to former Packers tight end Jace Sternberger. I honestly think this ball might have been picked had it not been tipped by the Showboats D.
A few moments later.
That one deflected. They're not as lucky this time.
A few moments later.
Get hurt. These guys expect tough coaching and expect him to coach him every play. Uh-oh.
Oh, you lost the football.
Blop 3. Marquez Stevenson loses a cleat. I haven't seen a shoe fly like that since the Bush administration. Dang, that's 2 George Bush references. Terrorists, your game is through. Blop 2. Welcome to the simulation. Houston Marcus Sims destroys the entire Roughnecks defense. A well-earned Blop 2 for the most missed tackles I've seen on one play in at least a decade. It's a terrible look when you have an incredible name like the Roughnecks, but you suck at defense. It's like having the last name Sherwood and suffering from severe erectile dysfunction. And Blop 1, a late entry is the ESPN-produced UFL highlight show titled
Stop Playing With Me.
Stop playing with me. All right.
Stop playing with me.
Man's got the shorts out. I can't respect it any more than that. Sky's out, thighs out. If it ain't tight, it ain't right.
Stop playing with me.
Stop playing with me.
Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. You can't do that.
Stop playing with me and stop playing with Ricky Parsons. Stop playing with me.
Now, I don't want to shit on. Oh man, I want to hype the UFL up, but I don't think this is the answer.
Boom! Stop playing with me.
Blop 0, Darius Shepard getting rocked by Brahmas punter Brad Wing. If you get hit, and I don't mean tackled by a kicker or punter, I mean they drop a shoulder on your ass and knock you to the ground, you should have to go to the penalty box, like in hockey. But you miss an entire quarter to think about the shame you brought upon your team.
Boom! Stop playing with me.
My winning QB this week, Adrian Martinez, was on fire in the Stallions' 19-point win over the Showboats, completing 18 of his 28 passes for 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Martinez also scrambled for a TD to put the game completely out of reach halfway through the 4th quarter, and again, he was the team's leading rusher this week. Also, when you have an eternity to throw the ball, dropping dimes like this is pretty easy. Hell, I think even Bryce Young makes this throw. In the first 2 games, the Stallions had been rotating QBs and had indicated they'd keep doing that last week. But this game was all Martinez, and I think he became the first 300-yard passer this season, if not the second. After this performance, I have to believe Martinez will get the starting nod, full-time over Matt Corral. Week 1, Corral, clearly the better passer, but now that Martinez has settled in, he's showcasing a better arm and a real threat to run. He's definitely a dude to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. Losing blowout, the Showboats. The 33-14 loss was the most lopsided victory of the UFL season. Not being able to say that until week 3, though, is actually pretty impressive. Case Cookus did have a nice touchdown to Vinny Papale before they switched it up and put in Troy Williams at QB. Kind of hard, though, for any quarterback to thrive when they're sacked every other play. Earning themselves the winning defense is the Stallions, who had 8 sacks. 8! Carlos Davis now leads the league with 5 sacks on the season. Birmingham is just a well-coached team by Skip Holtz, who led them to back-to-back USFL championship wins and has this team 3-0, the only undefeated team in the UFL. If they win it all again, he's got to be considered for a bigger coaching opportunity, right? Losing running back committee, the Showboats. The only team with fewer rushing yards on the season is the Houston Roughnecks with 145. So the 20 yards the Showboats gained on Sunday is exactly how many more they have on the next this year. Now the boat's leading rusher was Titus Swin, who netted 14 yards on 6 carries. He was the only player who had more than 2 rushing attempts, including former Offensive Player of the Year Darius Victor, who finished with -1 yards on 2 tries. Winning receiver, Deon Kane, who caught 7 passes for $144. Now you might remember Kane as a 6th round pick for the Colts back in 2018, and who could forget his 4 receptions in Indy? But most recently, he was the MVP of the USFL championship game a year ago before being cut by the Eagles right before the regular season. Maybe that just goes to show the jump from the UFL to the NFL, but Kane dominated on Saturday against Memphis, especially with this release against press coverage. Kane has 240 yards in the first 3 weeks of the season, leading the UFL, and is on pace for 800 in this 10-game season. Losing QBs? I'm giving it to a guy who won this week, AJ McCarron. That's right. Now the Battlehawks handled the San Antonio Brahmas, their first loss in a 31-24 upset. What do you call the opposite of a shootout? A pea shooter spree? That's what this game was. AJ McCarron completed 70% of his passes. Very nice, accumulating a passer rating of 129.9, very nice. But dear God, he was boring. Just 152 yards on 27 attempts. Actually, AJ and Chase Gabers can share the award this week because the usually electric Gerber baby completed 8 more passes than AJ and managed fewer passing yards at 143. I felt like I was watching Russell Wilson check down to his running back before he even looked at the defense. And if you remind me of Russell Wilson, you're fucking dead to me. Now, the most exciting quarterback in this game was receiver Jontre Kirkland, who fired a perfect pass to Cody Latimer for a first down as San Antonio tried to complete another comeback win. They did not. I now mandate that AJ McCarron go balls deep to Hakeem Butler once a series. AJ did also have a surprise rushing touchdown in this boring win and a very cute shovel pass for 2 points. But if I won't credit Mahomes for shovel passes, I sure as shit ain't doing it for AJ. Speaking of that run, my winning brother, Corey McCarron, AJ's bro, who asked for thoughts and prayers after AJ's TD run, as their family will apparently never hear the end of it. It's cool, Corey. If his head gets too big, just show him he was my losing QB this week. And while he's a losing QB, damn it, AJ is a winning dad. The Brahmas lost, and their kicker, Destroying, is done for the season with a broken neck. But my winning multitasker is new kicker Ryan Santos, who is kicking for the team and studying to be a pilot. He said he can't wait to try and land a Boeing that's falling apart midair. A man who likes challenges like that will not miss big kicks. Losing state, Texas. Every Texas team lost this weekend. It's like they all channeled their inner playoff cowboy football. Winning efficiency machine, Panthers QB E.J. Perry. The Panthers handled the Roughnecks 34-20, and the only way to handle a roughneck is with smooth hands. And E.J. Perry's hands are like butter. which you would think would lead to a lot of fumbles, but it doesn't. It's actually the key ingredient to completing 84% of your passes. Perry was 16-19 for 208 and a TD. EJ is also sneaky fast, white, and rushed for 2 touchdowns and was the Panthers' leading rusher, averaging 6.7 per carry. The Panthers totaled 124 rushing yards on the day, 60 all coming from EJ. 5 rushing touchdowns this weekend all came by way of the quarterback. Now, winning DNA, the Nacua family. Kai Nacua, the oldest Nacua brother, and Panther safety hauled in a pick in this game on a deflected pass. The Roughnecks actually scored first in this game, a solid opening drive, but not much after that. Now, he's not winning kicker of the week this week, but Jake Bates did it again. Week 1, of course, he blasted that 64-yarder. Week 2, 62 yards. Week 3, Jake Bates hits a 55-yard field goal. He's 5 of 5 on the season and has helped his career more than any single player so far this season, I believe. Any team that needs a good kicker must have eyes on Bates. Even if you have a good kicker, you should be watching Bates because he might just be a great kicker, deserving of a long future in the NFL. And finally, the Defenders versus Renegades. My winning boomerang dick game because the Defenders come on backs. Shout out to Ioana Jackson. Now, this was the game of the week. Jordan Teamu pump faked so hard in the first quarter he nearly threw himself on his face. Instead, he extends the play, converting a huge 3rd and 10 to Kelvin Harmon. And where I criticized AJ and the Gerber baby before for being check down merchants, Teamu threw one of the most impressive screens you'll see. All that work, though, for a long field goal early for the Defenders. My winning bond? James Tyler Bonds. This is as pretty a back shoulder fade as one can throw by Luis Perez. Now, Perez began to dice up the defenders. They squeezed in that silly looking lateral, and then Perez found Javonte Payton for the widest open touchdown of the weekend. Classic miscommunication between corner and safety for the blown play. The Gades capped that with a pretty incredible 2-point conversion from jack of all trades quarterback Lindsey Great Scott. Now, Scott started his college career over at LSU before transferring to Last Chance U, throwing for over 3,400 yards and 29 TDs for the East Mississippi Lions. A couple more transfers landed him at the University of the Incarnate Word Athletics, where he threw 60. Yes, 60 touchdowns in a season for the weirdest named college in human history. Anyway, a perfectly executed QB draw and a touchdown pass to Chris rolling. But DC failed on the 2-point conversion and entered halftime trailing 14-9. But overall, very solid first half of football. Another kicker to watch is Defenders kicker Matthew McCarron, who split the gooch from 58 yards in this game. That's 2 50-plus yard kicks in the same game from McCarron.
Stop playing with me!
Who is also perfect on the season, making all 8 of his field goals. Tyler Vaughns bailed Luis Perez out of an overthrow with a tremendous catch over the middle. Vaughns then gets wide open on 2nd and 18 as DC tried to figure out what the fuck coverage was. Losing highlights? The UFL. After that completion, the Renegades settled for a field goal, but that's not shown in the official UFL extended highlights, and neither is a Defender's touchdown. How the fuck do you cut a TD and a field goal from your highlights? That's the same kind of editing choice as the editor who uses the shot where all you see is the dude's butthole in porn. Nobody wants that angle, not even gay dudes. I had to go to ESPN, whose not extended highlights were 3 full minutes longer. And even then, ESPN skipped over the fact that this insane touchdown grab by Brandon Smith actually counted. Guys, I shouldn't have to be a damn detective to find one of the best plays from the weekend. Regardless, the Renegades are finding some nice plays from Gadget QB Lindsey Scott coming in for snaps. He rushed for a touchdown in the 4th quarter. A 2-point conversion and a long field goal gave the Renegades a 10-point lead with 2:08 left in the game, taking us to our winning finish. Kicked off by the kickoff. It's Mr. Limp Bizkit himself. Rolling. Ripping a long run, setting the defenders up on the 35-yard line. DC then benefited from a very lame roughing the passer penalty. Te'amu gets swatted in the head from behind. This would also be a penalty in the NFL, but I'd like to remind both leagues, the men out there are wearing helmets. You know that, right? Concussion by way of hand accidentally hitting a quarterback has never been a safety concern. They're not getting Deacon Jones out there, okay? Anyway, that gave DC 15 free yards. A handoff to Harris takes him down to the 1 yard line. Harris finished the job a play later, scoring the touchdown. And despite loud boos from the crowd, Jordan Te'amu converts the 2-point play and DC cuts the lead down to 2. DC elects to obviously go for the 4th and 12 conversion, and it's the other Scott, Ty Scott, making the grab to keep DC's dreams alive. DC is usually where they go to die, but not today. Winning concentration goes to Kelvin Harmon, who secures the grab despite a near pick six. Had Deron Lowe timed this right, or had he been able to jump higher, he's the hero of this game. Instead, it's kicker McCarron, my winning kicker, hitting the 49-yard game-winning kick to complete the perfect 2-minute, 11-point comeback win for the defenders. Continuing the streak of an incredible finish every single week so far this UFL season.
Stop
Fondling me. And that's your week 3 winners and losers. Make sure you subscribe here to That's Good Sports. We got a forgotten draft bust episode coming out Wednesday, so make sure you come back and check out more videos. Please come back.